Hello, good morning all. Now, warm welcome for all to our exercise session. Okay, now we have studied which are the important empires who ruled in the north part of our country. That means Delhi, Sultanates and other famous empires who ruled or who took Delhi as a seat of power. You have already studied. Today, we are going to study, you know that India was a very big country and now also India is a very big country. You studied only the history of North India. But today we are going to study what was the condition of our country in the south and west part. Okay, so many kingdoms. In the last classes, you studied only dynasties, or we can say empires. That means that rulers were very powerful one and they had a very big geographical area under their control. Kingdom means it's also not so small one but big one, but it's not so big like a dynasty or empire. Okay, so first of all we can study which were the famous kingdoms, dynasty, which were the famous kingdoms who ruled in the south part of our country. Okay, so listen here, kingdoms that existed in the south part. Okay, so first one, there were three famous kingdoms or three famous rulers who shared the south part of our country. Okay, first one Chola kingdoms, then another one Vijayanagara, and third one Bahmani. Okay, these were the three famous kingdoms existed in the south part of our country. There is one other kingdom in the west part that we can study later. So listen here, which were the three kingdoms in the south part of our country? First one Chola, the next one Vijayanagara, and the next one Bahmani. Okay, now first of all we can study the important points about Chola kingdom. Okay, so listen here, Chola kingdom. Before that, you please read that particular paragraph related with Chola in your textbook. Okay. So all of you take your textbook and read that. Okay, don't speak, all of you please read. Over. Okay, then listen here, you please say what are the important points related to Chola dynasty. Okay, famous rulers. Then who were the famous rulers? Yes, two rulers are there. First one Raja Chola, then another one, yes, Rajendra Chola. Okay, Rajendra Chola. So see, then the famous rulers were Raja Chola and Rajendra Chola. Okay, then what do you know about this kingdom? Yes, this kingdom, they had a very powerful navy. Okay, very good. Do you know what is navy? Okay, it's a particular group, they control the ocean, okay, or sea. A particular group, in the army group, okay, we can say that. So, they became more powerful. Then there were two famous rulers, Raja Chola and Rajendra Chola, and they had a very powerful navy. So, related with this navy, there is one more point, please say that. Yes, what's that? Yes, they extended their country into which places? Indonesia, Malaysia and Sri Lanka. Okay, so please remember these places. These places were islands. Okay, so Indonesia. Then next one Malaysia and Sri Lanka. Okay, so please note these points. Okay, so these are the important points. And there were two famous rulers, which were the Raja Chola and Rajendra Chola. The next one, they had a strong army. So, by using that army, they extended their kingdom outer part of India, that is Indonesia, then Malaysia and Sri Lanka. Okay, then you can see what is the geographical extension of their country by looking this map. So, all of you listen here. By using this map or looking this map, you can easily understand the extension of the Chola kingdom. Okay, so please take down all these points. Okay, now we are going to study about Vijayanagara. So I am going to rub all of these points. Okay, Vijayanagara. Then, before entering the topic Vijayanagara, you please read. There is a small travelogue written by the important Persian traveler Abdul Razak. So, all of you please read that. You can see that small travelogue here. All of you listen here. Look here. Okay, then please read that. So, please find out the important points of Abdul Razak. Okay, then you please try to say which are the important points related to Vijayanagara. Yes, what's that? Okay, very good. They had nearly 300 ports. You know what's the meaning of a port? It is a place where ship is anchored. Okay, so there were 300 ports for this kingdom. Which kingdom? Vijayanagara kingdom. Okay, then each port is just equal to or just as the same of our Calicut port. Isn't Calicut was the main center for maritime trade at that time. So these 300 ports were just the same or just equal or as important as Calicut port. Okay, then another one. Yes, very good. The soil was very fertile. The soil was very fertile. Okay, so because of the fertility of the soil, most of the people engaged in agricultural work. Clear? Then this kingdom was so big one. So if one person want to cover all these places, that person had to travel nearly 3 months continuously. Okay, it shows the extensions of Vijayanagara kingdom. Clear? Once again, there were 300 ports here and each port is equal to Calicut port. Then the soil was very fertile one. So because of that, people had engaged in agricultural work. Then if any person wants to see all the places of Vijayanagara, that person had to travel how many months? 3 months. Then only he can reach the nook and corner of Vijayanagara kingdom. Clear? Okay, then there is one more point related with the soldiers. Anybody? Okay, there were nearly 11 lakhs soldiers. Okay, so these are the important points. There were nearly 11 lakh soldiers under the control of Vijayanagara kingdom. Okay, now one more point. This Vijayanagara kingdom came into more powerful. You know that the Chola kingdom, when you study Chola kingdom, they become more powerful in which century? Yes, that kingdom became more powerful in 9th century. You studied that. Likewise, Vijayanagara kingdom also came is more powerful in which century? That is, please note the point. It is in 14th century. I am going to rub this point. It is in 14th century. Okay, 14th century. Then you know that you studied the founder of Mughal emperor and the founder of Mamluk dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, like that you studied. Likewise, this Vijayanagara kingdom, the kingdom was formulated by two important people. There were Harihara and Bukka. Harihara and Bukka. Okay. Okay. Then one more point. Harihara and Bukka, the founders of this Vijayanagara kingdom, but there was another famous ruler of Vijayanagara. That person has an important role in the development of Vijayanagara kingdom. He was Krishna Devaraya. Okay, that also you keep in mind. Krishna Devaraya was the famous ruler. Krishna Devaraya. Krishna Devaraya was the famous ruler of Vijayanagara kingdom. Okay, so the important points are put over. Now we are going to study about Bahmani kingdom. The founder of Bahmani kingdom was a very big name, so please study very well. Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah. Okay, so he was the founder of Bahmani kingdom. Then you know that you studied the Chola dynasty, it was very fertile one. Vijayanagara kingdom, it was very, you studied that Vijayanagara kingdom was very fertile, so most of the people engaged in agriculture. Likewise, in Bamni kingdom also, there was an important place. That place is known as Raichur. Okay, that place is known as Raichur. This place was very fertile because of the presence of two important rivers. That is, Raichur place was very fertile because of the presence of two important rivers, and that rivers were Tungabhadra and Krishna. Tungabhadra and Krishna. Okay, so because of the presence of these two rivers, this region, that means this region lies between the two rivers. So there are two rivers, they deposit alluvial soil. So because of the presence of that, Raichur became more and more fertile. So because of that, this Raichur is known as the rice bowl of the south, India. Okay, so Raichur is known as the rice bowl of South India. So, you know that this place was very important one, very fertile one. Two rulers, that means Bamya ruler and Vijayanagara rulers, they always made quarrel over between among them or between them for what? To capture this Raichur place. Okay, so Raichur has an important role in the history of Bamni kingdom. Once again, Raichur was a fertile place. It lies between river Tungabhadra and Krishna, and because of the fertility of this Raichur, it is known as the rice bowl of South India. And Bamni rulers and the Vijayanagara rulers, they always tried to capture this place, and so they conducted continuous war. Clear? So, these are the important points related with Bamni kingdom. So, now you completed which were the three famous kingdoms that existed in the south part of our country. Which are they? First one Chola, second one Vijayanagara, and third one Bamni. Okay, now we are going to study an important kingdom that existed in the west part of our country. Okay, kingdom in the west. It is Maratha. Okay, now we are going to study the important points related with Maratha. You know that? Okay, now we are going to study the important points related to Maratha. Okay, so before entering that, you please read that topic. All of you read. Over. Okay, then listen here. This kingdom, first point, this kingdom came into more powerful in 17th century. Okay, or we can say 17th CE. So first point you keep in mind, Maratha kingdom became more powerful in 17th CE. Okay, then another important point, you know that they had a particular natural boundary, because this region had a particular natural boundary, that means two important mountain ranges and two important rivers. So that mountain ranges and rivers keep this particular place isolated area from other neighboring places. Okay, then can you say which are the two important mountain ranges? Yes, which are they? Okay, very good. Okay, listen, that mountain ranges were Vindhya and Satpura. Okay, Vindhya and Satpura mountain ranges were the two important mountain ranges. Likewise, two important rivers also there that kept this or that kept Maratha kingdom from neighboring places. Which were the two important rivers? Yes. Okay, Narmada and Tapti. Narmada and Tapti. Okay, so you keep it in mind. These were the two important mountain ranges. First one Vindhya and Satpura, then two important rivers Narmada and Tapti. So we can say this place Maratha lies between these two. Okay, so because of that they got a particular protection from nature. So it created a unity among the people of Maratha. Then another important feature of this kingdom was they had a particular language of their own. That was Maratha language. Okay. That language was Maratha language. All people spoke Maratha only at that time. Okay, then next one, they had also a particular powerful naval force. Okay, they had a particular powerful naval force or navy and also army. A strong army also there. So they had powerful navy and they had powerful army. Then Pune was their capital. Pune was their capital. Okay, then another important one, you studied 9th century Chola dynasty became more powerful. 14th century, which dynasty? Vijayanagara dynasty. 17th century, which dynasty? This dynasty, that means the Maratha dynasty. Okay, here also there was a powerful ruler. The name of that person was Shivaji. Okay, Shivaji. And he was so strong, very powerful, very famous one. So he accepted a particular name. It is known as Chhatrapati. Okay, so please note Chhatrapati. So that person was known as Chhatrapati Shivaji. Then their capital was Pune. They had a strong navy and strong army. Their language was Maratha, and that particular region isolated from other places because of the presence of Vindhya, Satpura mountain ranges and Narmada, Tapti rivers. Clear? So these are important points. Then you can see what is the geographical boundary of Maratha kingdom. All of you look here. This map shows you what's the extension of Maratha kingdom. Okay, listen here. Clear? Now, this is the end of our first chapter. So, please study very well and just the time for winding up. So, I am going to stop here. Thank you.